Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be reviewing the Ion 100R headlight and the Flare R taillight. Trek's Ion and Flare lights have been a popular choice with road cyclists thanks to their compact form factor and focused single LEDs. While they aren't bright enough to light up the road, they have really nice daytime visibility and are a great option for city cyclists or road cyclists looking for daytime visibility. After being on the market for years, Trek has finally updated them, with a big highlight being the fast USB-C charging and a new battery gauge that lets you know exactly how much battery you have. Packaging wise, really sleek, just white and black with the Trek logo. This cool little window that actually shows off the lights inside it, and Trek being eco-conscious, you can see no plastic, it's actually just cardboard. So no plastic window, it's really eco-conscious, but still gives you a nice window. The specs and some of the features are printed directly on here. And I'll go ahead and open up the box and we'll go over the full specs. Retail price on the lights are $44.99 each. Obviously you can get them as a set like we have here. And the set is $84.99, so a little bit of a discount. Big difference again is that LED gauge, so you actually have a 4-bar gauge with a 5th critical single LED flashing mode that lets you know exactly how much light you have left, or how much battery you have left. It's 100 lumens for the headlight, and then it's 35 for the taillight. These all have side windows, so it's really nice. You can actually have side visibility. And then they're also, again, USB-C charging with Blendr compatibility, so they come with mounts, but you can also use it directly with the Blendr lights. And you can see subtle improvements to the design with the anti-glare lens cover, and again, the LED gauges for the battery status. As far as what comes with it, you get a headlight and taillight with the mounts, a single USB Type-C charging cable, and then the very thick instruction manual, as this is in just about every language you can imagine. Now let's take a look at the weight of the Ion and Flare lights. So if we take the headlight, the Ion 100, that appears to be about 25 grams. We do the same thing for the Flare R. That's just about 25 as well. So they most likely have identical batteries. Pretty much everything's the same except the coloring. Visually, the Ion and Flare lights have the same iconic cube design that the Trek lights are known for. So super compact, easy to hide on your bike. And you can see they're identical. So the headlight and taillight have the same dimensions, same minimal branding. Really the only branding on here is Trek written on the bottom of the lens. And you can see finally, you can tell the headlight and taillight apart. The taillight has a red lens while the headlight is white. And they've also updated it so you still have the single LED, but you can see they now have this dimpled surface around the main LED, which helps distribute the light. The other new feature here is this glare shield. So very similar to the Commuter Pro. So it helps prevent glare. On the taillight, it really doesn't make sense, but they share the body. But with the headlight, when you go out of the saddle, sometimes you could get in front of it, and then it would sort of blind you. So with this one, you can see you have this nice little angled glare shield that'll prevent that. You still have the side windows, which is always a nice feature. So when you're riding at an intersection, they actually see you from the side. And even if they don't see the main light, they'll see the little translucent window, which help ensure you're visible. The user interfaces on these are super simple as well. Single power button. A single press will show the battery status, and you can see there's actually 4 LEDs. It's a little bit confusing on the taillight, it's just all red. With the headlight, they're all green. And then each one of them is 25% increments. Once you're under 5%, you'll go down to 1 flashing bar and you'll be stuck in an eco mode. And I'm sure at least you can make it home. On the bottom of the lights, you finally have the USB Type-C charging port, which means you can charge this faster and you don't have to find an old micro USB cable. The back side, you have their standard Blendr mount. So it's a little tab design with a slot. They include the seat post as well as the handlebar mount. Very simple design, slides in, has a locking tab. And then the cool thing about this is actually rotatable. So the whole mount can rotate. But I'd highly recommend getting the Blendr mount so you can attach this directly to a saddle or directly to your out front mount. So same attachment, but with the different options. User interface, super simple again. Single press shows the battery status. Holding it turns it on. Single press cycles through the modes, and you either have 3 or 4 modes. So very simple, No brake sensor, no Bluetooth connectivity. That's the features we'd expect on the RT, but with this more simple one, very standard lens, you can see just cone. You're obviously not going to see the road with this at only 100 lumens on the headlight, but it's enough if you're just a commuter and you want a little light and you're otherwise riding in a well-lit area. Otherwise, really nice daytime visibility, so super bright. And with that focus LED, they've really tuned it very well. Now let's take a look at the output modes. The headlight has 3 modes. So you have a 100 lumen high steady mode, 20 lumen daytime steady, and then the most important one, the daytime flash, which gives you 100 lumen and 11-hour runtime. The taillight gets an additional mode. So you have 4 modes. You have daytime steady at 20 lumen, then a 2 lumen night steady, which has 21 hours of runtime, daytime flash, which has a really nice irregular pattern and 10 hours of runtime, and then there's also a nighttime flash, which is really hard to catch here, but it's kind of a low-high, so more of a pulse. Here you can see some riding footage with the headlight, so you can see during the day it's actually really bright, nice irregular pattern, so they see you coming, and even though it's a very small light, it packs a big punch as they have a nice focused LED, so that's one of the big reasons we like this. We mounted it on top of or underneath our out front mount using the Blendr attachment on the Madone. So it's a really slick setup with the Blendr setup. You can put it right underneath. You don't need additional adapters or any additional pieces. Here you can see some taillight footage, and again, the daytime bright one is the one to go to, especially when you're riding during the daytime. Ensures they're visible, has irregular pattern. So again, small light, but nice and focused. And with the updates, you have the side visibility, longer runtime, so it's a nice upgrade overall. And we're excited to see what the RT will look like, so it should be very similar with upgraded features. So overall, nice bright light. Obviously at nighttime, you want to run something a little less obnoxious, so you want to run maybe a nighttime pulse, and then you want to make sure you have a bright front headlight. This is not a nighttime light. It's better for daytime or really commuting in bright areas. We've actually reviewed the existing Bontrager branded Ion 200 RT and the Flare RT, which have a very similar design to the existing R models. So with this one, you can see really big differences. They went from the smooth body to this glare shield and slightly updated shape. Still very iconic. You still have the single LED, but you can see instead of just having a black surround, they've added the dimpled section to the new design, and again, that glare shield. Same side windows. They've really improved the indicator. So before you just had one color. You'd have the Bluetooth color and then the actual battery status, but you didn't have much more information than that. But with the new one, you actually have the 4 LED gauge, which is really easy to see. It does add a little bit of thickness to these lights, so you can see the glare shield sticks out. But it is a nice benefit to the headlight, because again, when you get out of the saddle, you could get in front of the light, and with this one you have the glare shield, so you won't see it. But really nice upgrades, and the big thing is obviously they went from micro USB to USB Type-C, which has really been long awaited. And even the newer versions that say Trek just had the Trek branding, they still have the micro USB. So pretty nice simple upgrades, and the battery gauge, longer battery life are all really nice benefits, and we expect the RT to probably drop pretty soon as well with a similar design. You can also see with the existing models, you couldn't really tell them apart unless you really looked at them. You have a subtle red indicator. You'd have to go search for, oh, is this Ion, is this Flare? Or you'd have to turn them on, so they're easy to mix up. So it's really nice that they finally just colored the lens. So it's really easy to see taillight, headlight, without having to search for branding, which actually doesn't even exist, so it doesn't say Flare anywhere. With the previous one, you really had to search for those indicators to figure out which one was which. And then obviously they've really copied a lot of design features from their Commuter Pro. So you can see same glare shield. This one has a much different lens design, so it actually has a top mounted one, so you get non-glare design and much higher output compared to the simple 100 lumens on the Ion headlight. So this one you'd actually use for riding on the road on dark trails, while the Ion ones are more just daytime visible. But you can see they definitely copied the design of the shield. And they've also kind of copied the battery indicator. With this one you had 5 bars, and it can also control a taillight. It can control these are not the RT, but this can control the RT versions, and we'd expect the newer versions of the RT to have the similar design features. There's other brands on the market to choose from as well, so the Trek ones are a little expensive for the output, so you can go with something like the Magicshine Seemee lights. So you can see with these are actually really bright. So you can see brighter with this COP LED surround. And as a part of the Seemee lineup, you get the miniature Garmin mounts on here. Simple Magicshine branding. And I do like the Garmin mounting instead of the Blendr one. It's a little bit easier to find more options. And you can see it across brands, but you can see it definitely doesn't have all the features. You don't have the transparent side window. You have a more transparent body, which actually works, and this cool surround, but not quite as focused as the Trek lights. With this one, they've really done a good job at really focusing the light and ensuring you're visible during the daytime. So that's one reason they're so popular. Now let's go over the pros and cons for the Trek Ion and Flare R lights. What I like about them, they have a very compact design, so they're great for daytime riding. You can hide them under your saddle or under your out front mount. And they finally get modern USB Type-C charging, which is really a feature that's been long awaited. They're also daytime bright with really eye-catching flash mode, so they ensure you're always visible. The main negatives with the lights is the fact that the gauge can be a little distracting, especially on the front light. The bright green LEDs, depending on where you mount your light, might be visible from the cockpit, so it would have been nice if it was side mounted like the Trek Pro Commuter. Also, the gauge on the taillight is all red rather instead of being green, which is a little bit of an odd choice. The front one is a white light with a green gauge, and the rear one's a red light with a red gauge for some reason. Taking everything into account, we'd give the lights a 9.5 out of 10. They're really nice upgrades with USB Type-C and better battery life. Thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can see more content from us on our website at thesweetcyclist.com, as well as follow us on Instagram at thesweetcyclist. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.